Good people, welcome to another episode of Chopping Willie in the Morning, brought to you by Let the Film Speak. Man, it's a great day, man. Sunday. Willie Jack, how you feeling, bro?
Hey, feeling good, boy. Football Sunday ain't gonna ask for nothing else.
Hey, ain't no reason to have anything else. You know what
For
I'm saying?
sure.
So, hey, I'm feeling good. You feeling good? You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get this started off right. So of course, we got our this is our pregame show, man. All the games that you need. You want to hear about, you want some insight on, you know what I'm saying? Me and Willie Jack, we got there for you. But before we get into that, of course, we gotta talk about Thursday night football, man. Thursday night football. We had the the Bengals going to Miami. Oh, or was it the Miami going to Bengals? Miami going to Cincinnati.
Miami went to Cincinnati.
Yeah, Miami went to Cincinnati, man, uh this past Thursday. You know what I'm saying? So we got to talk about that. Bengals win this game 27-15. Willie Jack, what's your take on this one, bro?
Well, I mean, as y'all probably would know, I took Miami on the road in this game initially. And honestly, the game came out the way it was going in the early going. It was a pretty tight game. I think I still felt like, especially in the early going, that Miami was in the process of kind of getting rolling, of course, and then we get the injury to Miami, but I still kind of feel like Miami just never really got kind of off the ground a little bit. But I thought that they were going that way, and then of course we see, the tragedy and the injury that happened to Tua, and then from that point on, man, I mean, Cincinnati got in gear and finished that one on off like they were supposed to. But go ahead and give me your take, man. And we can get into this Tua nonsense, man. We got to
for sure. We definitely got to touch that. But first and foremost, it was definitely a game that Cincinnati needed. You know what I'm saying? They was coming into this week, and like I said, and it kind of played out the way I thought it was. I thought it would. Cincinnati came up their win against the Jets, and they needed their momentum. They needed to keep their momentum going, especially with a Miami team. They're playing at the top. You know what I'm saying? They playing at a high level right now, but they were a little banged up. You know what I'm saying? Xavier Howard came in questionable. I think the other corner, Byron Jones, came in a little bit questionable, who ended up playing, but Xavier Howard left the game in the second half. You know what I'm saying? Which worked out well for the Cincinnati Bengals, you know what I'm saying, in their matchups. So this was a game that it couldn't have been perfect. It couldn't have been better timing for Cincinnati to have this game against Miami, against one of the top teams, and they came away with the W, man. Still trying to run the ball. They still trying to work out the kinks with their line when it comes to running the ball. They actually protected Burrow a lot better this game than they have the first couple games. So hopefully it continues to trend in that way, and they continue to get better there. But yeah, it was a must win game for them, and they came in and took care of business. Now that we kind of got that out the way, Willie Jack, it's time for us to attack it. And it's crazy. I'm kind of glad that we didn't attack it on Wednesday, you know what I'm saying? Because we could have talked about it Wednesday after the first week. But the way that it's played out now, I think it's perfect because we get to wrap up everything, put it all together. So, of course, we all seen the injury to Tua on this Thursday night game. But I don't know if everybody's seen it, but there was also an injury. Well, I'm pretty sure everybody's seen it because it's all over the news. But he got injured before in the game before against Buffalo. Okay. And he hit it. If you see the play, he hit his head on the ground, fell backwards. You know what I'm saying? He got up and he was stumbling. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who likes boxing, my dog Willie Jack is a big boxing fan. Once a guy gets knocked out, you know what I'm saying, to a certain degree, if he gets up too fast, he's
he didn't have his legs yet.
He hit his legs, but for him though, this is one of those football injuries. He's walking okay at first, and then he stumbles. You know what I'm saying? This was my first thing initially. You can't hand me no burger and tell me it's a chicken wing. You know what I'm saying? You can't hand me a burger and tell me it's a chicken wing. You can't show me that injury and come back and tell me, oh, it was his back. I've been playing football all my life. I've been watching football all my life. Right. I've seen this same thing happen all the time when players hit the head on the ground and they go into concussion protocol, end up being out for the game. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. You can't do that with me. You know what I'm saying? You can't just tell me nothing and I'm just rolling with it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the first thing, you know what I'm saying, I had a problem with. But then we come back into this game. Now, one, if he goes into concussion protocol and he's out for the concussion, with this being such a quick turnaround and being a Thursday night game,
in this game, yeah,
he's not playing. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's not like you're out a long time when it comes to concussions. Concussions, a week or two, and usually a player is back. So he wouldn't have missed a ton of time. But the fact that he came back in the game and he didn't go into the proper concussion protocol, in my opinion, now he's playing in this game, and the football guys say, okay, this is what happened. This is what's going to happen when you don't take care of the situation or do what you're supposed to do. He gets slammed again on his head, and it looks 10 times worse than it did the first time around. And now the uproar begins. You know what I'm saying? The NFLPA was already, investigating this and how the process was handled and so on and so forth. So I'm just upset at the fact that you got to, at the end of the day, you got to have more care for the players, man. You got to have more care for the players. There's no way in the first place he should have been pulled out that game from jump. I don't care how big the game is.
He shouldn't have played this game. Yeah,
he should have been pulled out that game. And then, and if that was the case, if they followed their proper protocol, he never plays in the Thursday night game. So I was upset. I was pissed. I was pissed off because that's ridiculous. They asked these players to take pay cuts and do all these different things to try to prove themselves, and they struggle and they don't want to pay them. But then you do this. You know what I'm saying? You put them in a situation where a guy could have been killed. You know what I'm saying? That's the reality of the situation. So I was pissed at it. They should have handled it better, and I hope the NFLPA they attack it and they go for the gusto. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm standing on it, Willie Jack.
No, and I'm exactly like you, man. I was talking to one of my homeboys, man. Another dude we play ball with in at Central, Reggie. But we was talking about it, and I was like, bro, I don't see it. And this is the thing in the greater scheme of things, because this too a situation in and of itself. It's definitely a very, very serious situation because we're talking about player health, and not only health to play the game, but health to live football after. Like the type of hits, concussive hits he's taken to the head 4 days apart, because it was a Thursday game coming off of a Sunday. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't even a full work week in between. You know what I'm saying? So 4 days later, and that's what I was telling Reggie. He's like, man, I don't know what the NFL's equation to death penalty is, but when the NCAA, when college football gave SMU, Eric Dickerson's SMU Mustangs, the college football death penalty, they never recovered, and it happened. Well, probably now these days, honestly, man, it's probably happened 35 years ago, almost 40 years ago. And SMU never recovered. You know what I mean? So like all the sanctions, all the fines, all the reductions in scholarships, etc. The NFL equivalent to that for the big league, I need to see what they're going to do. Because the thought I had was, is it a situation dire enough to where this in combination, with the allegations made by Brian Flores, the former head coach, and those allegations, which should carry, they already carried a lot of weight. The NFL was to tactfully addressed some of his accusations, and they left some of them alone. But as far as the pay to win stuff, NFL didn't even touch that because, and I said it at the time, that opens a whole Pandora's box across the league and across the history of the league. If you entertain this happening with the Dolphins, well, the Dolphins ain't invent the damn wheel. You know what I'm saying? So the Dolphins weren't the first team ever to think of this type of activity in 2020, if it's true. And so if you admit it for the Dolphins, you've now admitted that this is a thing that happens and can happen and has happened in the past across the entire league, and you just don't want to open that type of Pandora's box. But now seeing just the inner workings of how they got stuff going on, just like Chops told y'all, man, I'm telling you what, there's no back injury in the world. And we play ball. We've injured our back. And I'm not going to say that there's not some professional that can find us some type of link and tell us, well, if the sacroiliac in the, you know what I'm saying, in the L45 is pinched, then you may get radiculopathy into the, you know what I'm saying? I know a little bit, but I can tell you right now, nah, man, when that man took a concussive blow to his head that we watched on TV, he got up. It wasn't like he lost. He stuck. The boy leg wouldn't come down. It was still crumped up, bro. Boy leg wouldn't straighten. Like it was snatched.
It's so many things with it, Willie. He got a back injury. He done failed already. He failed about 15 times in the game just off being hit. But this one time that he happened to hit his head, it was the back injury.
Yeah, we get up, we see him stumble, we see him try to take a step, we see that leg just give out, we see somebody come grab him by the arm and walk him back, we see him kind of look around a little day, all the clear signs of concussion. And then you've got these third-party medical professionals or tended to be nonpartisan, third-party, they have no oversight from the NFL so that they can be as unbiased as possible. And this professional lets it slip, like, you know what? Man, I missed that one. because a follow-up story has came out now after this Bengals game where the medical professional who admitted he made several mistakes or has been determined he made several mistakes in the concussion protocol, and now he's been, I guess, fired. So I guess there's a scapegoat of sorts, but no, that's not enough. You know what I'm saying? We just like Chop said, I don't need the weatherman to tell me it's raining outside if I'm outside getting wet. You know what I'm saying? If I'm outside getting wet, I don't need to wait till I see the weatherman to tell me this is rain. We all saw it. You know what I'm saying? So, and for that reason, and for that reason right there, honestly, I'm not going to cut any slack from Mike McDaniels because you are still the head coach of that football team. Yeah. Players don't play unless you want them to play, or players play at your discretion as coach. He saw that hit as well. He saw that injury as well. He saw the stumbling. He saw etc. And so there's a built-in out, I guess, for the coaches because he is, and rightfully so, he is able to distance himself from the decision to say, hey, man, the paid medical professionals told me the boy can play. And so I get that to a certain extent, and especially in football when you're in the heat of it. Players want to play. Coaches want the best players to play because nobody's thinking about nothing else but the next down. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're in the game, you don't think about nothing but this down. Can he play this down? He can play this down. Play. You know what I'm saying? So like, and I kind of get that, but stepping back from it now, and then now, especially on the short week in Thursday, and we see this kid, hopefully, well, by all accounts, I guess they got him to the hospital. He was up. He was reactive. He had full motion in all of his extremities, but we still don't know any type of potential deficits as he recovers from now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? A second blow to his brain. You know what I'm saying? A concussion is when your brain that floats in your skull, it has concussive force of impact against the side of your skull. You know what I'm saying? And you bruise your brain. You know what I'm saying? Directly. You know what I'm saying? So it's but like I said, man, this on top of the pay to lose allegations and scandals, on top of the improper contact. Remember, they were trying to get Brady before he was an official free agent. They tried to force Brian Flores to back channel with New England and with Tom Brady directly to see if they could steal him from the Patriots. There's a lot of corruption and a lot of issues going on with that Miami just organization. And now with this Tua fiasco, this Tua gate, concussion gate, whatever we're gonna call it, like I wonder if this is a strong enough ploy to where maybe we see, or maybe even if it's in some style of discussion, like when the NBA forced the owner of the Clippers to sell the team, because there's not many things that you could do to force an owner to sell a team because he owns the team. So the NFL is a confederacy of NFL teams. Like each owner is their own country, and they agree to be united in the states. But each team is its own country, so to say. And so you can't force somebody to leave their country, type of deal. You know what I'm saying? And so, but I wonder if the NFL, how drastic an action that this will provoke, depending on how this comes out. And then here's another thing, just how. Well, what's the right type of thing I'm trying to say? When something gets exposed or brought to the forefront, others that have been wronged in the same way sometimes will come forward. I'm curious to know if there's any other former Dolphins players that have a similar story, or that maybe something like this happened before, where they were obviously concussed or they were just obviously injured detrimentally and kind of were not necessarily forced, but pressured, or, you know, it's in the organization, the pressure of the organization, especially, I mean, so if they were pressured or influenced to play when they medically shouldn't have been, on a wilder, longer tangent, even going back to Antonio Brown, where now there's a lot of stuff wrong with Antonio Brown. He's back in the news again. So I'm not giving him an excuse for all his just rampant behavior, but part of the beef he had was that he felt like he was alleging that the Buccaneers completely disregarded an injury that he had and forced him to play, or wouldn't, or, you know, wouldn't acknowledge that he was either injured or trying to play injured and forced him to play. Now, whether or not how valid we believe his injury was, etc., when you looked into it, it was documentation. So I mean, it was there. He was on PUP list. He had missed practices. There was text messages between them discussing the injury, him going to go. Now, the quality of how he looked when he was out there doesn't mean that he's not injured. You know what I'm saying? So, well, I mean, he looked good. Doesn't mean he's not playing injured. He just looks good. He's one of them ones. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, man, so that was going to be my thought, man. Is there something in the NFL bylaws where maybe we can see a change in ownership, which I'm all for anyway, man, because it gives us another excuse to maybe get Hove or Diddy one of these teams. So we need that.
Yeah. And I'm
get him out of there.
So I guess to sum it up, man, the NFL just needs to clean up, man. Just overall, just to look at the NFL when you coming from the off season up into this year. You know, we already talked about how they handled the situation with Deshaun Watson. We talked about, you know, this situation. NFL has to clean up. You know what I'm saying? For one, just for future references, and that this incident doesn't get worse. You know what I'm saying? The next time, you know, to where we not talking about somebody's funeral the next time. You know what I'm saying? They got to clean up. They're supposed to be all about safety, and the reason why they changed a lot of the rules. Let's get it cleaned up, and let's do this, man. Because right now it's not looking so good with the way that things have been handled. We had a few comments, man. And first and foremost, I guess we ain't welcome my guests properly, man. Let's welcome him on. We had Jarrell in the building. Miles stepped in. I think we had Dubs. He stepped in the building as well. Tom was in here, man. Welcome this morning, fellas. Appreciate y'all for joining in. We had a bunch of comments. Willie Jack. I probably won't read through all of them, fellas. Of course, we want to keep it going. But there was a couple good ones. I know Miles had one for sure. He says, I know the latest one, he says, if he doesn't tell what he probably should say, does that forfeit all rights to sue?
Ooh, that's a good question. And so, no, I don't think so, because, and this is a similar thing, kind of like in the work I do, because you can give a statement regarding injury, and honestly, it doesn't change what we do. So I see this a lot in my work. So like right at the scene of an incident or whatnot, because sometimes you also, in some styles of injuries, you may not feel the full effects of the injury for several days anyway, or at least in the work I do. So it's okay to be non-injured at the scene, and then 2 days later, or a day and a half, 2 days later, wake up and find out you can't get out of bed. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of things that go on with your body when you get injured. Your body floods itself with adrenaline and dopamine and things like that. So you're almost in a state of shock, so to say, at the initial outset of like a quick traumatic injury, and so your body has to flush all that out before you can even feel the effects of what was going on. But like I said, yeah, I don't think so at all, man. And this is a greater thing as well, because the reason these protocols are in place because that this was the type of activity that was irregular for football, and not even just NFL football. This type of incident right here was irregular for anybody who played football in the last 150 years, until 4 or 5 years ago when Will Smith came out with a concussion movie. You know what I'm saying? That sparked a lot of these changes in debates, because it was so worried there was going to be such a blackout for the league. Now, and this is no disrespect to Will Smith, the movie fell a little flat, but the message they were trying to imbue didn't, because the NFL was forced to take that stuff seriously. And now we have a concussion protocol. Now they went back and revamped or remodeled a lot of these helmets, which were concussion caps. That's what we used to call some of these helmets, boy. Concussion caps.
Man, you straight had leather. You wore leather on the head,
boy. Some of these things, man, brutal. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine wearing a helmet made of concrete to protect your head from injury. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was no, man, yeah, anywho. And so, but this is everybody's story. Everybody's had your bell rung. That's what we call it in practice or in the game. Oh, man, you got your bell rung. Because that's the thing, and especially concussions, they're graded. And so, man, you may have 3 grade 1 concussions in a game, honestly, because it just feels like you get your bell rung. You're a little loopy for 2-3 plays, little ringing, little kind of days, but you do snap out of it.
If you play football long enough, you've
had 30 of them, bro. If you never went nowhere, if you never went past high school football, you had a dozen of them. If you made it to college and you played college ball, boy, you had 2 or 3 dozen of them. You know what I'm saying? So, like, easily, at least, you know what I'm saying? You may have 2 a week in practice. You know what I'm saying? Like on your heavy hit practice days. And so this is par for the course, man. So everybody's kind of been there to a certain grade or a certain extent. And like I said, so I think this is so deep, bro. I wonder, that's why I wonder if they really take a look at forcing a change in ownership. And if there is even something in play there, because it would have to be something collectively agreed upon by the ownership that could even force that move. And then, of course, if you set precedent by forcing that move, it makes all these other owners subjective to it as well. And they all got dirt. Jerry's had a couple sex scandals and things that happened in the 90s, and we don't talk about them now. So everybody's got dirt. Everybody could have been in that chair Miami's in right now. And so I don't know if these guys, when it comes to something like this and where they actually govern themselves, I don't know how much real change on the grand scale we see. But for me, for my money, in cahoots with everything else that's came out just here recently about the integrity of the game, with trying to incentivize your coaches and likely players to perform poorly and lose, dirty dealing, trying to steal players from other teams, back channeling, trying to force the coach to be a part of that.
Yeah, they
concussion gate with Tua gate, whatever we're gonna call it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just everything is hitting Miami right now, and like I said, man, it needs to be something drastic. Some type of example needs to drastically be set by the league for this type of activity if there is no option to force a change in ownership.
Gotcha. All right, Willie Jack, man. Well, let's go ahead and move on, man. We got a bunch of games to get to, man. So we definitely want to run through these games. But before we get into the games that are coming up today, let's talk about the one that's going on right now, just for a quick second. I'm gonna give y'all an update. So right now, Minnesota's up on New Orleans. They win it 16-7. A little bit over 8 minutes left in the third quarter. You know what I'm saying? So we'll be monitoring that game as we kind of go through the list of games that we got coming up for y'all today, and keep y'all updated on what's going on with that. But now, let's go ahead and get into the first game, Willie Jack. We got Cleveland going to Atlanta to take on the Falcons, man. Who you got?
Man, I'm not going to lie. A lot of these games weren't like overly compelling games, I guess, ones I'm going to beat down the door to see, but they still are like hard games to call because honestly, I really struggled calling this Cleveland-Atlanta game. And for one, because Atlanta's playing well, they're way more competitive than I want to give them credit for. Yep. And they've done it in consecutive weeks now to where, like, I have to kind of give it credence, and especially when they get a Cleveland team. Now, this Cleveland team is playing pretty well, especially the run game is facilitating. Jacoby Brissett, he's been really good doing what he's asked to do. You know what I'm saying? He's operating as well as they could have hoped on the strength of a very strong running game and a very competent defense. Now, Myles Garrett is going to be out this game, and I think that's vital because I know Jadeveon Clowney was out last week. I don't know if he's back this week, but now with Myles Garrett also gone, that I'm worried about what that does for the run defense because Atlanta is a team that is extremely proficient running the ball, and that's what they want to do, and that's how they keep themselves in these games and stay competitive, and they're a threat to do so. Cordero Patterson, Marcus Mariota using his feet a lot as well, and so if you're down Clowney and Myles Garrett now, then that I think makes this a little more compelling of a matchup because the interior D-line wasn't special anyway. And then, like I said, you got all those weapons in the back end. But I say all that to say I still am going to pick Cleveland to win the game. That Nick Chubb and those boys carry the day still. But I think it's a tighter, closer matchup, man. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is one that isn't decided until the fourth quarter. But I'm going to take Cleveland on the road 24-20. And I think Cleveland may get that touchdown to go up 24-20 toward the back half of the fourth quarter. I think it could be 17-20 Atlanta, and Cleveland needs a drive, and they punch it in at 24-20 as a final score.
Gotcha. All right, I got Cleveland in this game as well, and it's going to be short and sweet for me, and it's CH&D. You know what I'm saying? CH&D. I done told you about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm running it back. You're going to see CH&D. That's Chubb, Hunt, and that defense, man. They're going to play pretty well. Now, I do agree with you in the sense of with Jadeveon Clowney may be out as well as Myles Garrett, so that'll hurt them up front. But I still like their back half, you know what I mean, being able to do what they need to do against those receiving weapons. And I still think they got enough to hold on against this Atlanta team. So I'm still going to go Cleveland in this game, and I think they run the ball well. Atlanta's run defense hasn't been the best, and I think they're going up against one of the better offensive lines in the league. And they going against the C&H, you know what I'm saying? So it's CH&D, man. That's what I'm rolling with. My final score is going to be 28. I think they run it up just a little bit. 28-20 is my final score, man. My final score is game 28-20.
Cool. And then I think Miles, our dog Miles in the building, man, he said he's got Atlanta, but he said Patterson is questionable though. And I saw that, but from what I could tell, I think he's still playing, but I did see that as well. But I don't think he actually got ruled out. But no, I did see that. Man, real quick, man, we had a good comment from our dog, man. Day One Gang Jarrell in the building. What's going on with you, big dog? He was now this is the concussion piece, but I didn't want to get too far from it. He said, man, he played with a guy in college who was trying to make it undrafted, kept playing on concussion, and never told the Browns trainers. And now knowing him now later in life, he's never been the same person. And so man, exactly right, man. That's the sacrifice and the price guys pay, man, because it really is a dream that you're chasing. And then once you get there, you got to fight so hard every day for that to continue to live that dream. You know what I'm saying? The NFL the contracts are yearly, but the NFL is a daily job. You interview every day. You know what I'm saying? When you play professional ball. So, man, sorry to hear that about your homeboy.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely sorry to hear that. On to the next one, Willie Jack. We got a divisional matchup, man. We got Washington, the Commanders. They going to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Cooper Rush and them Cowboys. And I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm going Dallas in this game, man. I'm going Dallas. I was hesitant. I was almost ready to pull my upset card, but I got an upset later on in the matchups. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to throw the spoiler at y'all, but I got an upset later on. Maybe two of them, depending on how y'all looking at it. So I'm going Dallas in this particular game, and it's the reason why is because of that defense, man. That defense is balling. They playing some good ball, and up front they wrecking everything between DeMarcus Lawrence and you know the LT and Junior and LT Junior. You know what I'm saying? Michael Parsons. They wrecking everything, and just the way that Washington offensive line looked last week with giving up 8 or 9 sacks. Wentz got sacked 9 times, and he likes to hold on to the ball. It's the wrong game to be holding on to the ball, bro. So I'm going Dallas in this game because I think their defense come out to play. I think they cause a couple turnovers. They may even get a defensive touchdown, but I don't see their offense putting up that much. But that defense is going to dominate this game. So I'm going Dallas over Washington. My final score is going to be a little bit lower. I got 17-9. It's my final score of this game.
Oh, Washington doesn't score a touchdown. Okay. No, I like this game for Dallas for a lot of the same reasons. For one thing, man, shout out to Cooper's Cowboys, man. All right, that's Cooper's Cowboys. Y'all stop playing. Cooper's Cowboys will roll today, man. And I think that Chop did hit the hammer right on the head for the most part. I think Dallas's defense definitely is the difference in this. You've got a team coming off a week in which their quarterback was sacked 9 times. Chop just told y'all Carson Wentz definitely does like to hold the ball, and you're you're doing that against Dallas, which is leading the league in total team sacks this year anyway. And so you've got Michael Parsons. He for the first game this year he hasn't recorded a sack, and now he gets the perfect get back on the sack train game against a team that gave up 9 last week. Michael Parsons liable to have 2. Matter of fact, Michael Parsons will be your defensive player of the week this week, or game changer of the week. Go ahead and put me down for Michael Parsons, man, for 2.5 sacks.
Michael Parsons? You put Michael Parsons? Is that your performer of the week this week?
Performer of the week right now on the spot, bro, because everything you just said just really got me going. Because I was thinking the same thing that Dallas's defense, but now that you said it out loud, we said it out loud, Michael Parsons going crazy. 2.5 sacks. One of them will be a strip sack. The boy might
go ahead and predict it, Willie Jack. Go ahead.
The boy might have an interception as well. 2.5 sacks. One of them a strip sack and an interception for Michael Parsons today, man. Okay. Y'all stop playing with me. Y'all stop playing with me, man. All right, okay. Y'all stop playing with me. But I'm gonna take Dallas. I'm gonna take Dallas in this one. I did give it. I gave it a little more scoring. I had 27-20. But if Michael Parsons and them is getting off and balling like that, I don't know if Washington gets 20. No, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it where I had it. 27-20. I think Dallas' defense does carry the day. I definitely think there's gonna be a defensive touchdown in this one. That was part of the 27. Originally, I was thinking that maybe Trayvon Diggs gets his first pick 6 of the year. He's had an interception. We hadn't have a pick 6 yet. Yeah. I think this is a game he may get his first.
He's been close. He's been close too.
Yeah. And so I was thinking this is maybe his first one because Carson, he does hold on to the ball. He is looking to capitalize and take a shot. And so that's the good and bad we've seen with Carson. So, and so I think this is one that Trayvon could get one. So between Trayvon and Michael Parsons, I expect at least a defensive touchdown. But I still think Micah has a huge day. 2.5 sacks. One of them will be a strip sack. And you know what? Either he gets an interception, he causes the pressure that leads to a Trayvon Diggs interception, or he may tip a pass and somebody else grab one. But there's going to be an interception made, and Michael Parsons is going to have a play in it, man. In addition to his 2.5 sacks, and one of those being a strip sack. He may pick it up and run it back in. We don't even know, bro. He may decide to just do it. It may be a one-stop shop. He may just pick it up and take it in himself, bro.
We're going to
27-20 Dallas, though.
We're going to see. All right, man. On to the next game, man. We got Seattle going to Detroit, and I'm glad it's on you this go around because this was one that was a little tough for me.
Man, so I know.
What you got in this one, man?
Oh, no, this was easy for me. Detroit, man, I'm off the Seattle bandwagon. I just try to give them a little love the way they came out and looked so good week 1 against Denver. Then they've let me down every week after that. So I'm off that train, man. Y'all already know, man. Man, I was late to the party, but I am a member of the Dan Campbell fan club, man. So I'm taking them Lions. The Lions now quiet as kept. I think they're like a top 3 scoring offense in the league. And if you look at it, where they put up points every single week, that defense has let them down in key moments. Or at least the lit games kind of get out of hand, and then the Lions offense has put up a lot of points in the back half of a lot of these games. Perfect example of the Philly game. Philly came out there waxing that ass, and then instead of a 40-point loss, they battle back and they lose that game 38-31. And I think 24 of those points came in the second half. And so Detroit is able to score the ball. Now they are out DeAndre Swift, but you've got a very capable backup in Jamal Williams as well. Not quite as dynamic, but every bit as capable, if that makes, you know what I'm saying? So, but I'm taking Detroit at home, man. And I'm taking them kind of comfortably, man. I'm going 30-20 Detroit.
Okay, gotcha. And that was actually what Miles came in and said, man. He had a good comment, and that's what I was gonna touch on. He said Detroit has a lot of injuries, but I like Detroit. And the same thing with me, man. And it's more so because of the coaching staff. Now, it's not just DeAndre Swift that's gonna be out. It's Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think that's gonna hurt him because just like I talked about with the Chargers this past week, in terms of Keenan Allen being their chain mover, that's Amon-Ra St. Brown for them. That's their chain mover. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if Goff looks as clean or this offense looks as clean without those two key pieces, because those are the two guys that make this offense go. So without those guys, the offense is not as clean, but I still think they're good enough and they're coached well enough in order to get for them to be able to come away with this W. So that's why I'm sticking with Detroit. I just don't have that much faith in Seattle and Geno Brady. I mean, dang, my fault, right? I think you said it a long time ago. My fault. But I just don't have much faith in Seattle. You know what I mean? So I'm still gonna go with Detroit in this game. My final score is gonna be another low scoring game, man. I got them. I guess 23. I don't know if that's that low. I get them 23-17 is my final score of this game.
Okay.
All right.
Gotcha.
Cool. On to the next one, Willie Jack. We got Tennessee going to Indianapolis, man, to take on the Colts. And I'm going Colts, man. I'm going Colts. I think they came away with a big W last week. Now, this is one I'm kind of scared of too. Okay. Both of these teams are coming off big W's last week, in which both teams needed those W's. I'm scared because teams coming off those big emotional games, man, the next week is usually the week where it's like, dang, now y'all just come and y'all fall off. You know what I mean? Y'all fall off. You know what I'm saying? So I'm worried for that, but I do think that Indianapolis, they come, and I think last week, the Las Vegas Raiders, they weren't able to overcome some of the injuries that, excuse me, some of the injuries that Tennessee had on the offensive line, losing Taylor Lewan. I think the Colts do. I think they take advantage of some of those things. That's the reason why I kind of got them winning this game. It'll be the Jonathan Taylor versus Derrick Henry game, and I got Jonathan Taylor winning this one, man. So I got the Colts over Tennessee Titans. I'm going to go 27-24 final score.
Okay. And you know what, man? I went back and forth on this one as well. This is like one of the last three games I picked, and not because I'm overly compelled to watch it again, but just because I think the matchup is so balanced, it's just hard to call. Neither of these teams are playing well. Both these teams are playing less to the expected standard, and honestly, both these teams are finally coming off of victories, and neither team was overly impressive to me in the victory. And so it's just ugly ball on both sides being played. Now, Jonathan Taylor is playing in this game, but he is a little banged up himself. And I think he has been kind of slow to get going this year, not because of his own fault, but there's just not much help for him offensively. So week one, he has a big yardage day and a loss or in a tie. And then the next 2 weeks, I think he's been held more or less in check, so to say, but still probably the most explosive back in the league at this point. On the other side, Derrick Henry finally did get a little momentum going. He didn't quite crack 100 yards like we was talking about last week with Chop, right. But he did get he was close to the mark, and it looks to be like maybe the offense is finally rounding into some semblance of productive in the run game. And so for that reason, man, I'm going to take the Titans in this one in an ugly game, man. But I've got 20-16 Tennessee. And honestly, I think it's less about faith in Tennessee because they've got some injuries themselves. We already know Harold Landry's out. I think Bud Dupree, I don't know why. I thought I saw something like maybe he was nicked up or questionable or something like that. But I'm not overly impressed with Tennessee's defense. But it just goes to show last week's victory for the Colts against Kansas City, I think showed me more about what's wrong or missing from them, more so than gave me any type of confidence in them and their performances going forward. So like I said, everything that could have went wrong for the Chiefs had to go wrong for that game, and they still barely squeaked by with that in that victory. But I'm taking Tennessee. I think Derrick Henry and his run game is going to be the difference maker as opposed to Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor's forward. Don't ask me why. There's no rhyme or reason. You know what I'm saying? But I just got a better feeling about Tennessee than I do Indy in this one. So I'm taking them on the road 20-16.
Gotcha. Quick update for everybody. The score is now 16-14, Minnesota up. New Orleans is now down 2. They just got a touchdown run from Latavius Murray. And
he's still there?
Yeah.
He's heard his name in a long time.
Him and Mark Ingram, they both were they splitting the carries today, man. So and then Minnesota just converted on a fake punt, so to keep their drive going. So they are entering New Orleans territory. I think they're a little bit past the 40. So that's where we're at in this game, and they're getting ready to get into the fourth quarter. So a little bit about a minute left in the third. So that's where we at with that game. All right.
Yeah, I know Miles has dropped it in the comments as well. He's tuned into it.
Okay, right on, Miles. Keep coming with them updates, bro.
For sure.
On to the next one, Willie Jack. We got Chicago going to New York, and it's been a while since I said this, man. And you know what? No, I'm not gonna say it this time because actually both of these teams are 2-1. Who would have thought?
I said for you. Garbage bowl.
Nah. I ain't ready. I can't
garbage bowl.
I get it. I get where you coming from, but I can't say they 2-1. Hey, they 2-1. We gotta give them some respect, bro.
That's why I'm gonna say it for you. It's a garbage bowl, nonetheless.
we gotta give them some respect, man. But yeah, we got Chicago going to New York to take on the Giants. Willie Jack, who you got in this one, man?
Oh man, I ain't gonna lie. I'm taking the Giants just because Chicago cannot throw the ball. And like I said, I wish I could, because we had talked about I think week 1, but when I go back and look at it, seeing the way that Justin Fields is throwing the ball, seeing the decisions he's making, the issues with accuracy and ball placement, and now I understand why he's only throwing 8 or 9 passes a game. So there's something critically wrong with the passing game and with Justin Fields to this point. And Chicago they've got a defensive coach. Mike Eberflus came over from the Colts, I think, last, but was in Dallas for a while, etc. And like I said, I'm not confident that Chicago has anything offensively that they can do to change or put Justin Fields in a better predicament or put him in a better space or open anything up or softer targets for him. I don't see any of that coming at all. This is going to be a team that strictly steals wins from when they get these kind of lesser matchups, and then the defense carries a big day, and Justin Fields makes just enough plays on his legs for them to win ugly. I say all that to say the Giants, which aren't overly talented themselves, but they are more competent just offensively. You still got Danny Dimes, who can move and operate. You still got Saquon, which is good for, he's good for a 40-yard outburst at some point in the game. He may not do nothing for 3.5 quarters, but before the game is over, he's gonna have a 40-yard outburst.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now. It ain't gonna be that today. we get
that's what I'm gonna say. With Chicago's defense, man, and Roquan Smith patrolling that middle, I think it could prove to be a difficult day. But I'm still taking the G-Man at home at the crib, 21-17 in a game that I don't know if anybody's gonna watch if you don't have to. But yeah, give me 21-17, the G-Man over the Bears. And like I said, and what's going to be a proven garbage bowl. It's going to be ugly football. It's going to be some ugly football in this game for sure.
Gotcha. And I got Giants too, man. I'm going 24-17 in this game. And mark it down, Saquon. That's my performer of the week this week. He is my performer of the week. He's gonna get that ball and he's gonna do his thing today. You might see it. You're gonna get a receiving touchdown. You're gonna get at least 50 reception yards today. You know what I'm saying? He's probably gonna get a receiving touchdown. He definitely gonna get at least one on the ground. He's going for 200 total yards from scrimmage today. You know what I'm saying?
What was your score?
27 to no, I didn't. I said 24-17. That's what I said. 24-17. But I got the Giants in this game, man. I got Brian Daboll in them. You know what I'm saying? Brian Daboll in them. I think they come ready to play. Chicago has problems on offense and defense, man. They got issues, you know what I'm saying, everywhere except for with Roquan Smith. You know what I'm saying? They got issues everywhere. Now, I do think that their run game is going to be that's going to be solid. You know what I'm saying? The run game is going to be good. Khalil Herbert came in relief of Montgomery last week, and he ran the ball pretty well. I expect him to run the ball pretty well today again. But I think that's all you're going to get from that offense. So it's not going to be enough to overcome the Giants. And yes, Miles, I wanted them on all my teams, but I definitely drafted them. And you're looking at your offensive player of the year. You heard it here first. Offensive player of the year, Saquon Barkley, and you're getting the performer of the week this week. You know what I'm saying? So
man, Chop ain't had his coffee this week, man. Chop ain't woke up fully, man. It's a little early
You
for him,
heard
man.
it here first.
He's got the new baby. He's not sleeping well at night. I'm making him get up early in the morning to talk ball, man. Y'all got to forgive Chop, all right? Y'all got to forgive Chop. But hey, I got you down though. Saquon for 200 plus yards, 1 receiving and 1 rushing touchdown. Right?
Yep.
I got
put it down. And Miles, you forgot to put the hashtag best in the business. When you mention Barkley, make sure
don't
you
disrespect me. Hey, don't disrespect me like that. You know what I'm saying? Don't even play like that. Hell no.
I ain't playing. I ain't playing. Playing is for kids. You know what I'm saying? Playing is for kids. But hey, this brings us right to it, Willie Jack. Let's go ahead and jump into it. But before we go to the next game, man, I think we got to pay some bills, bro. We got to pay some bills, man.
All right, it's about that time. Hey, y'all know what's going on, man. Today's episode of Chopper Willie in the Morning is brought to you by the wonderful brothers that Look the Film Speak. Chopper Willie, bringing you your football news every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock on the dot. Maybe not on the dot, but 7 something. You know what I'm saying? 7 o'clock. 7 mean it might be 7:02. It could be 7:04, but I tell you what, but we in here though. Wednesdays at 7 o'clock, man. Holla at your dogs with the Phil Speak, man. Now, y'all are tuned in to Chop Willie in the Morning, man. 10 o'clock Sunday, click at your pregame fix, man. Holla at your dogs. We appreciate everybody coming through, rocking with us, man. And we're gonna get right back into the regularly scheduled program.
Let's do it. All right.
Oh man, like, share, subscribe. 3 Amigos, ring the bell. Come on to the crib. My bad.
You talk about somebody that ain't had their coffee.
Man, you threw me. Look, I can't even think straight, bro. You done threw me off. Saquon, the MVP, man. What?
I said offensive player. Come on, calm down. Don't twist my words. I said offensive player of the year.
Look, I can't even think straight, man.
You know they don't get it. They don't get it to they don't give MVP to running backs, man.
Yeah,
Lamar Jackson is right now in the lead of that. He's in the league.
Yeah. Huh? I said, last year's one was a good testament to what they don't. But I guess after the Colts collapsed, because that feels like a weak MVP last year for A-Rod. But I know like the blanket numbers tell you he was awesome, but I didn't feel like he was the MVP. I still think Jonathan Taylor probably needs that trophy.
I think you hated on all Aaron Rodgers MVPs.
No. I'll tell you what, man. The one he got where he threw like 40 touchdown passes and 4 interceptions. Like, all right, I'll give him 2. I think they gave him. He's up to what? Is he up to 3 or 4 now? I think I'll give him 2. I didn't like that last one. I think that last one, he was just kind of like by default the guy you had to give it to because his stats were the cleanest. But Burrow and those guys that got hot, Tom Brady and those guys that got hot, but they were heavier on the interceptions as well. You could have went to Jonathan Taylor, but then they got killed in the last week and missed the playoffs because they couldn't beat the 0-14 Jaguars or the 1-16 Jaguars. And so, it was just kind of A-Rod was the last man standing. Like, well, he's got 30 touchdowns. He only threw 5 interceptions. Okay. You know what I mean? They still got 12 regular season wins as normal. And got the head bust against the first real competition at home in the playoffs, but okay. But that's a different story.
On to the next game, Willie Jack, man. We had Jacksonville. They going to Philadelphia. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Never mind. Let's go to the next one. Let's go. New York. They going to Pittsburgh to take on your Steelers, man.
Oh, yeah.
First, man.
Yeah, man. And honestly, man, I'm taking the Steelers in this game, man, by default. I mean, what am I going to do? I'm not going to choose the Jets. So I'm taking the Steelers. Now, Zach Wilson is making his debut for this season because he got the injury right there in preseason. He has been cleared medically, so he's going to make his first start. And I think it's probably – I guess I've heard some conversation as to whether or not you let Flacco play because he had played well in spots and he got the big win. But I think that was more so a flash in the pan, you know what I'm saying, performance as opposed to sustained viability going forward. He quickly kind of fell back to earth that following week, which was last week for them. And so, yeah, go ahead. This is the young kids team. Let the young gun run. So I want to see what he looks like with Garrett Wilson and this young team around him, see how that plays out. But I am taking Pittsburgh 21-17. I think this is a game that I think our defense, which has played well for at least two quarters of every game we've been in before they get gassed in the end. But I think our defense can have a pretty good day here, both in the pass rush. I think our secondary maybe gets their hands back on a couple of interceptions today, as well as Zach Wilson kind of gets his feet wet and gets acclimated. So I'm thinking in my mind, man, I think defense gets maybe 4 sacks, and I think Minka gets his hands on another interception today. But I've got us winning this one 21-17.
Gotcha. Willie Jack, y'all going to have to do that if y'all going to win this one, man. Y'all going to have to show up on offense. I like the way that this Jets defense is looking. I like the way that they're looking. I really am excited, and I like their weapons as well on offense. I don't think they're there yet, They're not there yet. But I'm going with the Jets in this one, man. I'm going with I guess you can call it an upset. And it doesn't even sound right. It don't even sound right going Jets over Steelers. You know what I'm saying? Anytime. If you're thinking about the history of these teams, man, it's just I'm getting a feeling this time, you know, that Steelers are in a bit of a transition period. Miles came in. He said it's about time for them to go ahead and go with the rookie with Pickett, man. It's time for them to make that change. And I'm almost there, too. I'm almost there that it's almost time to get let's maybe give Mitch Trubisky one more shot, you know, to show that he can be a quarterback that can lead this offense. But I think it's getting closer to time to go ahead and let the rookie spin. But I got the Jets in this game, man. I think Zach Wilson comes back. He gets a spark under his team, and I think that's what's going to lead them to victory, man. The team is going to be rallied around them. They're going to be full of energy. They're going to come out ready to ball, and I think they're able to come away with this W. If the Steelers have T.J. Watt in this game, I think I go Steelers. I think he's that good of a player to kind of change the trajectory of a game like this. But with them being without T.J. Watt, I'm going Jets here, and my final score is going to be I'm going 24 to – let me go 24 – 16. 24-16, my final score.
Gotcha.
All right. On to the next one, Willie Jack. We got the Los Angeles Chargers. They going to Houston to take on the Texans. All right. And Keenan Allen is still out in this game, you know, so that's an important thing to know. But Houston's just such a rough football team, man, that I'm rolling with. I'm rolling with the Chargers, man. I think the Chargers still find a way to get it done. The defense is tricky when you watch them, but I like some of the things they bring to the table. Now, they gave up a lot of points this last game that they played, but I think the defense is going to bounce back. They do for a bounce-back game, and I think they play well enough to hold Houston for sure. But I think the Chargers are just a better team, you know. So I'm going Chargers in this game, and I think they don't put up as many points as they probably would have if Keenan Allen is on the field, but I still giving them a W in this one. I'm gonna go 28. They put up 28 in this game, and Houston they score 17. So 28-17 score.
Okay, and for me, honestly, man, this one was another hard one for me to pick. Not because it's not a compelling game, but it just feels like this could be, and not even a trap game, so to say, for the Chargers, because they're not playing particularly well that they should overlook anyone, because they need this win. Like, this is one where you should win and you need this win. So the timing of this matchup for them, it couldn't be better, because they are the definitely the more talented team. Justin Herbert is still playing, for better or for worse. And it's, like I said, because he's been pretty banged up. But this is a game that, typically speaking, you would want them to have at this time, even though it is on the road, but it's still a game that you should be able to kind of get your groove back. But I'm not going to lie, man, for some reason I'm worried that Joey Bosa is now officially on injury reserve, so he's going to be out. He's expected to miss 8 to 10 weeks. He just had growing surgery. Now you still do have Khalil Mack. That offseason signing now, in hindsight, even better than it was at the time, and I loved it at the time. And so now that's very valuable there. You still got all those other guys that we know and love on that defense. But just like Chop said, man, that offense is drastically different, and it looks way more limited without Keenan Allen kind of being the oil that keeps everything else moving. You know what I mean? So, like, he's kind of the guy that just keeps the offense from stalling. You know what I mean? So, and because of that, man, it does make me a little more concerned for the Chargers in this one. But I couldn't pull the trigger, man. This one could be, I guess, a bit of an upset alert. But I couldn't pull the trigger on Houston, so I'm still taking the Chargers in a close game on the road, 23-20. But I'm telling y'all now, man, I would not be surprised if that same score is in reverse and Houston wins this game at home. And I'm terrible about it if it happens.
And I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, Jarrell sent me a text. He sent me a text off to the side, man. He said he going Houston in this game, so he changed it. He's going with the upset pick,
okay,
man. So
hey, why ain't he in the chat? What's going on?
He was in here earlier, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but maybe he got some stuff going on. He got the kids and family and everything. So I don't know what's going on, but he definitely let me know he's going Houston. So next game, man, I got Arizona going to Carolina. Willie Jack, who you got, man?
Man, bro, another one.
This one was tough for me.
That's what I'm saying. This is another one which feels like a garbage ball, because I don't care about neither one of these teams. Neither of them.
Now, this is a garbage ball. This is a garbage ball.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. So it's another one, but it was another one that's a garbage ball that's hard to call, bro. It was hard to call because Arizona, it's basically does Kyler make enough plays to beat Carolina? But see, Carolina's defense is still pretty competent. You know what I'm saying? So their issues are on the offensive side of the ball, where Matt Rule has there's just no innovation. There's nothing going on the offensive side of the ball. And so it worries me there. And the fact that Arizona is traveling to Carolina as well. Everything in this one's telling me to pick Carolina in an ugly win. But for some reason, I think that Kyler maybe has another magical moment. I think Kyler has another one of these plays or in these moments where he's running around, he's extended a play, and they score some style of touchdown off of a play that probably should have been a 12-yard loss or a 12-yard sack. Baker's liable to give the turnover the ball to the Cardinal defense once or twice. And so I'm taking Arizona in this one. I don't feel good about it, but give me Arizona 24-21.
Yeah, I was hoping you can kind of help me out with this one, Willie Jack, but I still don't know. But I will say this. This needs to be a Christian McCaffrey game. They need to make sure that they're giving him the ball. The first couple games, cool. You know what I mean? Y'all trying to limit him a little bit, make sure he doesn't get injured, but you're still giving him the ball 25 times a game. So, I mean, that's null and void. You get him the boy the ball. Give it to him where he's best at, though. Give it to him out in space. You know what I'm saying? Create some different pass plays for him so he can do what he's used to doing. Miles, appreciate the update, man. He says Hill is cooking, man. New Orleans just scored, and they probably go ahead right now in this game if they make this extra point. You know what I'm saying? So New Orleans just went up and just scored. Actually, they up right now 20-19. And they might be going for 2 at this moment. I'm not sure what's going on. But back to this particular game. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Now I was gonna say go ahead, finish. I gotta step
go
up.
Ahead. Do your thing, bro. Do your thing. So going back to what I was saying in regards to this game, I got they need to get the ball to Christian McCaffrey. You know what I'm saying? So they have a great chance of winning this game. I like the way that their secondary and their defense is playing. So they're playing pretty solid. But I don't know if they get past Arizona in this one. I kind of agree with Willie in regards to the in regards to them being able to work off of Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray will be able to work his magic, do his thing, and make some plays for this particular team. Hollywood, that signing is looking pretty solid right now for them, even though they don't look that well as a team. That signing is looking pretty solid. He's catching a lot of balls and putting up a lot of stats for this particular offense. So I guess I'm gonna roll with you too on that one, Willie Jack, and I'm gonna go with Arizona in this game. And I actually think this could be a sneaky high scoring game. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna go 31-27 final score of this game. I got Arizona.
I don't know, man. The Panthers defense is a little more stout than I think that, and Arizona is playing high school football with Kyler just running around. So that's a lot of points like that. Couple quick comments, man, from our dog Tom, man. He said, "Will we have a JJ Watt sighting today?" And man, that's a good question, man. I want y'all already know, man. JJ for me, JJ is Rushmore. Prime JJ is Rushmore. I don't care what nobody say. Prime JJ is Rushmore. Y'all heard what I just said, man. We live on Instagram.
I'm gonna tell you like this. Last time I seen JJ Watt, and I think I sent this to Willie Jack. I seen the wide receiver from the Rams put that boy on his back. The Scrowney. That's his name. The guy. I actually wasn't a big fan of him. When I seen this play, I was like, okay, he can get busy a little bit. Yeah. He came, and now JJ Watt wasn't looking. It wasn't.
It was a crackback block.
It was like a little crackback block, and he put JJ Watt on his butt. You know what I'm saying? So I had to mention that, but. We might see some JJ Watt, man. When he's in there, he's still effective now. He's still effective. If you're watching the game, he still knows how to make plays. He's a veteran, so he's still doing this thing. So hold on, we might see a JJ Watt sighting today, man. Who knows?
I hope so, man. And then our dog Miles, man, he said McCaffrey's questionable again as well.
And I saw that, but I think he's probably going to play. He had a thigh injury earlier this week. He was rested on Wednesday. He was limited at practice, but I think they are expecting him to play today. Of course, we'll keep you updated. If I hear any legit facts in regards to that update, I'll be sure to let everybody know. As soon as I get it. But I think they are expecting him to play in this game. Okay.
Facts.
On to the next one, Willie Jack. We got New England going to Green Bay to take on the Packers. And I'm going Packers, man. I'm going Packers. Not that it would have mattered to me, but Mac Jones, he's out in this particular game. And They going against Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? We're going against two pretty good defenses are going to be facing out. But I think the offense of the Green Bay Packers is what's going to get it done. You know, the same way they got it done against Tom Brady and them, you know, and the Tampa Bay Bucks the week before. I think they're going to get it done in a similar fashion, except I think they may score a few more points in this particular game. But I don't think they score a lot. I got the Packers winning this one 24-10, my final score.
2014. 2014. And yeah, I've got the Packers as well. This is a game where I just can't give New England much. It was going to be hard to give them much of a chance anyway, even if Mac Jones is playing. Mac Jones out and Brian Hoyer being the starter today. And honestly, how much of a drop-off is there going to be realistically? I really don't know. I mean, there is going to be some style of drop-off. I don't want to just be completely disrespectful to Mac Jones. But I don't think it's as drastic as maybe it could have been on some other teams. That offense is still very spotty, even at the best of times for New England. And then, but the thing about that as well is Green Bay's offense isn't anything to write home about either. You know what I mean? And so I think Bill makes this game a lot tougher than maybe what the final score shows. But I do have Green Bay winning this one 28-17. But I think it's one of those games where this is liable to be a 21-17 game going into the fourth quarter. And then Rod and them boys, they go get a touchdown, a touchdown in the fourth to stretch it out. But I think for the most part, this game is played pretty close. Just because, like I said, Green Bay just doesn't at all look to be any resemblance to the offense that they had been the last few years now that Devontae Adams is gone.
For sure. I'm with you on that one. Tom coming on, he said that game is going to be hard to watch. I agree. Exactly. That's going to be a game I'm not excited to watch either. You know what I mean? But hey, man, they got to play it. They got to play it. It's a few of these games each and every week. But we got some good ones, though, for sure. And we'll get to those in just a minute. But let's go to the next one, Willie Jack. We got Denver going to Las Vegas, man, to take on the Raiders. This is another game where I don't know if maybe it's hard to watch, depending on which offense shows up for Denver. But what you got in this game, Willie?
Yeah, this is one for me, man. I'm not excited to see it all. This, like in the preseason, this would have been a very compelling matchup. And you know what? Honestly, I think these are the two teams in the AFC West that Chop was highest on to start the season. But the thing about it is, we're early enough in the season. Kansas City's also dropped the game they should have probably won. The Chargers have dropped a couple games, and so both these teams, even though I feel like these are the two teams that have played the worst in the division, they're both still in this division. This division it's too early for most divisions to be decided, but no one has really taken firm control of the division. The Chiefs are probably playing the best out of all these teams collectively, but they're still not head and shoulders above anyone, though. Like I said, that game against the Chargers was proof of that the Chargers are still just right there. They got an unlucky call on an interception. They got a bad, so they got a couple questionable things going on with Justin Herbert. But anyway, I say that to say everybody still has a chance. In this ugly garbage bowl, for me personally, I trust Denver's defense more so than I trust the Raiders offense, because Derek Carr is just playing inconsistent ball, man. He's just not playing well for whatever reason. And also that Josh McDaniels offense, man, I haven't seen the innovation that I expected. I haven't seen, and now I don't know if some of that is because Derek Carr is not putting the ball where he should, or he's not getting through the reads in the way that Josh McDaniels wants to. I mean, I don't know what's going on, but that offense is still a work in progress. That defense, and this was my beef against them anyway, is that all the moves made in that division, bringing over Chandler Jones wasn't enough to fix that defense, and we've seen that as well also. You know what I mean? So that defense still has struggled. It has problems, especially in the back seven specifically. And so this could be a game where I still don't know what I'm going to get from Russ Wilson and the Broncos offense, but I do know what I'm going to get from that Broncos defense. I want to see the young fella against the old head, man. I can't wait to see the young fella, Pat Surtain, Chops boy. I want to see what he looks like against Devontae, man. For one, does Hackett let him get that work? And I hope he does. He let him getting DK Metcalf's hip pocket in that Seattle matchup for a lot of that. And so I want to see how that plays out affairs. But I'm taking Denver on the road in Vegas, 23-21. And I think, like I said, I think Denver's defense is the difference maker today.
Gotcha. And I want to see that matchup too, Willie Jack. I think it's going to be a great matchup, man. And it's not too many guys. It's certain guys in the league, man, where it's like it's not too many that can guard them. You know what I'm saying? One-on-one. You know what I'm saying? I think Devontae Adams is one of those guys where it's not too many that can straight up stick with him one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? Full game and coverage. So I want to see that too. Is he going to follow? You know what I'm saying? I want to see how that happens. And yeah, we'll see that defense. Now, like you said, we know what we getting with Denver's defense. You know what I'm saying? But I'm with you, Willie Jack, in the fact that it's too many holes in this Las Vegas team. They got a lot of things that need to be fixed on offense and defense. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The connection between Devontae Adams, you know what I'm saying, and Cart is not even right now. You know what I'm saying? So they got a lot that needs to be done, you know, in terms of that and fixing that. So I'm going Denver in this game too. I'm really hoping that this offense of Denver gets on track. And if they get on track, man, it's going to be trouble for some teams, man. Right now, I think they're doing a good job of finding ways to win. So they're finding ways to win. They're 2-1 right now. And I think they find a way to win this one too, a big divisional matchup. But I also wouldn't be surprised if Las Vegas somehow, some way, these divisional matchups are funny like that. So I could see them coming away with this W as well. But I'm going Denver, though. I'm going Denver in this game. I think they come away with this W. I'm going to say 24-20 is my final score. Okay?
Good.
Cool. On to Sunday Night Football. We got KC, which could have been the game of the week for us, man. They're going to Tampa Bay to take on the Bucks. I got Tampa in this game, man. I got Tampa Bay in this game, man. Even though they're both 2-1, two teams, the offense of Tampa Bay has struggled a lot, but they're all expected to play today. Those receivers I've been talking about for a couple weeks, they're all expected to be back. So you get Mike Evans back. I think you get Julio back, and you get Chris Godwin back. All three of those guys are expected to play today, and I think this transitions that offense. You know what I'm saying? This changes that offense. It makes them a little bit more explosive, a little bit more dynamic, and harder to stop. The Chiefs' defense, they never have a great defense, but they always can just make the right plays. You know what I'm saying? They're not a defense where it's like we worried about when we going into this game, but they always have a guy that could get after the passer. You know what I'm saying? They always have a defensive back or two that can make a play at the right time. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about just shutting you all the way down. It's more so just about, all right, making the plays when we need to. You know, that's the type of defense that the Chiefs have, but I don't think it'll be enough against Tampa Bay with them having all their weapons. And then the Tampa Bay defense, man, we're looking at one of the best in the business, you know, and they operating at a high level right now. You know what I'm saying? As far as getting after the passer, as far as stopping the run, you might as well forget about it. You cancel Christmas when it comes to running the ball against this Tampa Bay defense. And their defensive backs right now are playing at an ultimate high level, and I think they have success against these receivers. Pat Mahomes is going to have some trouble finding open receivers tonight when they play the Tampa Bay Bucks. So I'm going Bucks in this game. They come away with this W. Final score, 27-24.
Okay.
Actually, I'm sorry. I'm going to spread it out a little bit. They go 27-21. 27-21 is my final score.
27-21 Tampa Bay. Tom Brady now. And you know what, man? And this is before you change your score, I had a similar score. So it's a Super Bowl matchup, and so we know that Todd Bowles, man, they definitely have a recipe that that they've proven on the biggest stage, man, that they can give Patty some trouble. Biggest thing in that was going to be pressure with your front four, not having to commit extra rushers. And then also, like I said, put as many bodies in the backfield as you can, or in the back end as you can, and forcing Patty and those guys to be patient and kind of take the small plays that are there and not force and shoot for chunk plays and make mistakes. Now, the only difference is this time around is that's more so been the name of the Chiefs game than it was before. Because before they were hungry for those big chunk plays because you had a Ferrari on the outside. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to drive in a school zone with a Ferrari. Well, now the Ferrari is gone. You know, now you don't have that problem anymore. You know what I'm saying? You don't have that blessing and that curse of feeling like, man, we got to air one of these things out, man. We got this Lambo over here chilling. You know what I'm saying? Well, now all you got is a Mazdas. You know what I'm saying? Like all you got is RAV4s. All you got is 4Runners. You know what I'm saying? You got a Jeep Cherokee or so. You know what I'm saying? But you don't have I guess a lot of that same inkling, because now you've got Juju Smith-Schuster, you've got Ricky Scott Moore, who fumbled a punt, then let another punt go, and then got down on the one. So he's going through his rookie growing pains. You've got Mecole Hardman, who is Mecole Hardman. I mean, so like I said, but so they don't have a lot of that extra incentive to want to press or force things anymore anyway. But anyway, I still say that all that to say, as strong as Tampa Bay's defense is, I'm still more worried and concerned with Tampa Bay's offense, because even week one, now granted, it was against Dallas, and Dallas's defense is problematic, and they're top 5 unit in this league. But they were struggling, or well, not struggling, but they had yet to kind of get back in their offensive groove. And then you lose 2 receivers that first week one, and then they don't play that week two. Week 2, Mike Evans gets himself suspended, so he doesn't play week 3. And so now Mike Evans is back. And then what's the final call on Julio and Godwin on this?
They all are expected to play.
Okay, so they all are expected to be back. And so honestly, for me, this is still roughly their first time all being together. They all played about a quarter and a half together last time before 2 of those guys went down. And so this is still their first outing together. The offensive line for Tom Brady now, can the Chiefs get pressure? Can the Chiefs get pressure on him with that offensive line being a little rebuilt or a little influx for Tom Brady and those guys? So I've still got questions here. And I can't believe I did this, man, picking against TB12 at the crib. But I'm going Kansas City, and I think Kansas City has extra motivation because they give up one that they definitely should have won last week. And this is one of those things, too, with Andy Reid. I feel like Andy Reid, after a bye week, it's no question. Boys know Andy Reid's like 58-2 after a bye week. If you give him extra time, he's gonna make something happen. You know what I'm saying? But also, I feel like Andy Reid also does really well after losses. And especially after a loss, like when they just lost, there's dissension. Patty and EB are arguing on the sidelines on live television. You know what I'm saying? People are still kind of questioning who they are, life after Tyreek. And so I think we get a very motivated Chiefs team today. And still, they got to get their lick back. You know what I'm saying? Patty could have 2 rings right now. So they still want that lick back as well. You know, and so I'm taking Patty Cakes and those boys on the road. And I think this is a very tough game. Originally, I had 27-23. I'm almost thinking now, man, that might not be enough points. That might not be enough points, Chop. No, I'm going to leave it, man. I'm going to leave it where it's at. 27-23, the Chiefs on the road, man, going to Tom Brady and them crib and getting the dub, man, and getting some very small modicum of that lick back from the Super Bowl loss.
Gotcha. Quick update, Willie Jack, on that game that's going on right now. We got the Minnesota. They just go back ahead, man, on an end around run to Justin Jefferson, man. He takes it into the end zone. So now we got Minnesota up 25-22 with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, man. So tight game, tough game. Me and you both win Minnesota in this particular game. So I'm hoping they pull it off, man. So as long as they keep going, we should be good, Willie Jack. We should be straight. So
I know. And I changed. I had New Orleans at first, and I changed over. Look at that. See?
Yeah.
I mean, they down 2 key starters on the offense that needs all the help they can get, man. It was rough.
Whatever, man. But the last game, man, another game, a divisional game that could have been the game of the week, man. We got the Los Angeles Rams going to San Francisco to take on the 49ers, and this one gonna be a tough one, man. We know what it's gonna be. Again, we say it all the time. Every time they face off, it's big bro against little bro. You know what I'm saying? Big bro against little bro. Even though we did pull off the one that mattered in the playoffs last year, it's still big bro versus little bro in the regular season. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they coming into this game as. They got their original squad back. You know, Jimmy G is the quarterback, and that's how they rolling. You know, on the other end, you know what I'm saying? Rams. They know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? They know what type of game it is when they go into San Francisco and they facing this team. So it's gonna be a good one, man. And I'm excited. I'm glad they got this one on Monday night. I'm gonna be sitting back enjoying this game. I'm gonna be real comfortable. I might have a brew in my hand. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a good one. But I'm going Rams in this one, man. And the reason why is because of that victory that they got last year in the playoffs. All right. And I know you probably looking like, all right, man, what the last year's playoffs got to do with anything? It has a lot to do with it, Willie Jack. And I'm gonna tell you why. It's confidence. You know what I'm saying? Once you get over that hump, that first time, it changes things. We going into this game, it's different now. You know what I'm saying? We got your number. We know how to beat you this time around. We know what to come with. We know what it takes. So now this next time around when we play y'all, which will be Monday night, we ready to go now. We're ready to go. So we coming to your house. We came to your house before. We coming back there, and we're gonna steal another. We're gonna come away with another W in this particular game. I just need Stafford not to pick up that cup. You know what I'm saying? Now, go hit him at least. Give him at least 12 targets, but I don't need you to force it, man.
I need 12 targets, but don't pick up the cup. No, man, come on, man. That's a lot of damn targets.
What I'm under now, that's a lot of targets. He deserved. Those are well-deserving targets. If he gets 12 targets, he usually catch 9 to 10 balls. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying steer away from those forced triple coverage balls that he be throwing the cups. Hey, we can lay off of that. You know what I'm saying? Lay off of that cup. You get the other cup. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with that. But yeah, you got to be a clean game for Matthew Stafford, man. If you make mistakes against this team, they will make you pay. You know what I'm saying? We've seen what Jimmy G brings to the table. We know what he coming with. You know what I'm saying? They either going to put together something nice, you know what I'm saying, and he's going to play a solid game and keep this offense going, or he'll make some mistakes. So we got to get pressure on him early. It's just an Aaron Donald game. Let's go, Aaron Donald. I need you to show up and show out. And we should come away with this W, man. So I'm going Rams in this particular game. Final score, 23-20.
23-20. And this one for me, man, I want with everything in my body to take San Francisco at home on Monday night, man. I just do. For a lot of reasons you said, man. So Kyle Shanahan, he had just had Sean McVay's number. Even last year in the championship game, it was less about what y'all did and more about San Francisco.
I ain't gonna let you take it away from him. I ain't gonna let you take it away from him.
You ain't got to. You do what you got to do with it. I'm gonna tell you how I felt watching that game. I felt San Francisco lost that game. Like I said, sometimes the Rams win. I feel like San Francisco lost that game. And you know what I mean? But Jimmy G being back in the saddle for the Niners now, but it's still a little rough going. So it's not. At this point, 4 weeks into the season, they should already be more comfortable rolling and back on, I guess, on par for what we expect from them. But they're not. Like I said, we already know what's going on. He didn't have a playbook all through the regular season. Nobody expected him to be there. He wasn't practicing, nothing like that. Once they rework the deal and comes in, then he finally starts practicing. Still not expected to play. Trey Lance gets hurt. And so now last week he gets, I guess, thrown into his first official start of the season. And so for those reasons, man, I think this one, timing-wise, suits and favors the Rams, even though it is at San Francisco at their home. And because of all of that, I think I am going to take the Rams begrudgingly so. But I'm going to take the Rams 21-17. I still think Shanahan and those boys make this an ugly day. It's just like I said, sometimes guys just got your number. Like I said, it's Big Bro and Little Bro. Little Bro finally got one on Big Bro, but that don't mean he Big Bro now. He's still Little Bro. You know what I'm saying? So I still think that San Francisco, they know all the right buttons to push, it appears, for the Rams. But I do think at this point, man, the Rams, I think the Rams should be able to get this one done, man, even traveling on the road. And I think, like you said, that defense, I think, does make the difference in this one, like I said, for the Rams. And so, like I said, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, man, you need the money to show up on primetime occasions, and this is definitely that, man, Monday night. So, and I think they will. And yeah, I'm gonna take the Rams, man, 21-17. I'm gonna take the Rams 21-17.
Gotcha.
I don't feel great about it at all.
Yeah, this is a tough one, Willie Jack. I ain't gonna lie to you. This is one. Last week I was like, yeah, we'll be all right. We cool. We'll be straight. The week before that, yeah, we'll be all right. We'll bounce back. But this week, it's all what you got. I'm strapped in. I got my seatbelt on this game. You know what I'm saying?
What you know, because see, I still don't know. Because see, Atlanta was there to run the ball, man. Atlanta was there to run the ball, get themselves back in that game. And like I said, if not for a Jalen Ramsey interception on the goal line, man, that's when they almost could have got away. And we know San Francisco, I mean, they definitely want to run the ball. They're definitely competent doing so. Man, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave where it's at, man. Rams 21-17. I'm gonna leave where it's at.
Gotcha. You know what time it is now, Willie Jack? You know what time it is now. It's time to jump into the games of the week. What's yours, Willie Jack? Talk to me.
Yeah, man. So game of the week for me, man, it's gonna be Big Josh, man. Big Josh Allen going against MVP Lamar, man. So this one, and how didn't somebody flex this one, or why did we have any foresight in the NFL office? Like, why wasn't this? Okay, let's say Sunday night you do got Kansas City and Tom Brady now.
It's all them good games, bro. All them gonna be real good games, bro.
I feel like this matchup also should have been somewhere in prime time, man. But no, I'm not gonna lie, man. I can see why they did what they did. All right, but no, I'm taking Big Josh on the road, man. So now this is one where definitely could be a shootout. I think. Well, here the final score I got Big Josh and them 31, MVP Lamar and them 28. So I do expect a lot of scoring in this one, a lot of back and forth action, and I think the difference is going to be Buffalo's defense. The Ravens' defense is trash. We just need to say it. Stop playing around with it. We know the history. We know what everything else that they was in yesteryear. They ain't stopped the nosebleed all year, and so it's been terrible. The Jets scored 30 points in the last 2 minutes. They also had another late game collapse. Was it in the Jets game, I want to say? Or no, that's the game I just said. The Jets and then somebody else. Oh, the Dolphins. And then the Dolphins as well. You know what I mean? So even if we want to give you a slide for the Dolphins, I can't give you a slide for that Jets game. But anywho, so they've got a lot of problems there. And then Buffalo, a team that, like I said, with Big Josh, man, Big Josh is any and everything. He's their guy that's going to make plays on running and passing. If they score, it comes off of his hands or off of his feet. So 4 touchdowns, 28 to get 31. It means 4 touchdowns. That tells me Big Josh is gonna have 4 touchdowns today. And then same thing for Lamar, man. Everything that, or just about everything that Big Josh is in Buffalo, Lamar is in Baltimore. And so, really a kind of battle of the Titans for this one. But I do give the edge to Buffalo's defense. I think Buffalo's defense is expecting a couple of their pieces to be back in action this week as well. Guys that were out.
Jordan Poyer will be back for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Jordan Poyer is going to be back, and that's huge. This is an all-pro caliber safety. One of the captains of that back end, him and Micah Hyde, kind of are the go-to guys in that secondary. And then, but also I think Ed Oliver is expected to be back in this game as well on the in the front on the D line, and so getting him back is going to be key as well. Buffalo's one of those teams where they like just kind of like the Eagles were a few years ago. They like to be 8 deep. They rotate a lot of bodies in that front four, and they get a lot of pressure with that front four, and it really allows them to play 7 back and really make things difficult for passing offenses. And so I think if that front four can be active, and then I think also getting Jordan Poyer back in that back end as well to kind of still be like a calming force on that back end, because the Ravens are getting by with a lot of Lamar left, right, and center, and then he's capitalizing and hitting you downfield when he needs to as well at a clip that's more consistent than what we've seen probably to this point in his career. And so I think having Jordan Poyer back can kind of help temper some of that, and especially if that front four and that front 7 could be active and make life difficult for Lamar, which I think they can. Both those linebackers are sideline to sideline guys, Edmonds and Matt Milano. And so I think, like I said, them two combined with that front four, I think they can really make this one a tough one. But I think, Buffalo still gets the edge in this one, even on the road in Baltimore, 31-28.
Okay, before I jump into this quick update, we got a tie game in London, man. Tie game in London, a minute and 50 left. Minnesota's getting the ball back off of this kickoff. New Orleans just hit a big field goal, man, a deep field goal. And like I said, it's a tie game, minute 50 left. Minnesota has all 3 timeouts. Actually, both teams have all 3 timeouts. So this game is coming down to the wire, man. It's a good one in London, man. I know they excited there, the people that's at the game. So that's where we at. I'll keep everybody updated on what's going on there. As far as this game, though, Buffalo at Baltimore, I'm going to go ahead and go with Baltimore, man. I'm going to go with Baltimore. And I really don't – I don't think either team has like a definite edge, you know what I'm saying, as far as overall in this game. So that kind of led me to go ahead and go with the home team, man. I'm rocking with the home team. I think we're going to get a very good game here. As my guy Miles said, we're going to get a very good game. I think we're going to get peak Lamar and we're going to get peak Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? I think both of these guys are going to come and they're going to show out. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be that matchup. We're going to be watching 2 guys duking it out, trying to go for this MVP. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're going to see. But Lamar, I think his legs are going to be the difference in his game. You know what I'm saying? I think they're going to be able to control a little bit more of this clock and do what they need to do on the ground, you know, against this team. Buffalo is a stingy defense now, so people are not really running the ball on them. You know what I'm saying? When you're talking about running backs, but when you add Lamar Jackson, you know, Lamar Jackson as far as a his threat with his legs, that brings a different dynamic to the table, man. So I think we're gonna see a little bit of a difference there. Buffalo's back end, they still without a couple pieces. They do have Jordan Poyer back, but they'll still be without Micah Hyde, who's on IR, and Tre'Davious White. He's not back as of yet either. So I think on the back end, they may have a little bit of trouble, you know what I'm saying, trying to keep up with the Baltimore the Baltimore receivers and the legs of Lamar Jackson. So I got them winning this one. Miles, I heard you. I see your comments, man. I know you say Buffalo is a little bit more complete, but their run game, man, they need something there. They don't have nothing there, and they hurt them last week. You know what I'm saying? So they need to figure out their run game one way or another. And it's a bunch of backup running backs out there that they can go try to get that'll be probably better than they starting guys. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like the run game there, but I do like Josh Allen though.
I don't think they need. I don't think they're missing a competent running back. Honestly, because I don't think, especially you said free agent running backs. Like I don't know who's a free agent running back.
That's a bunch of backup running backs out there that they can probably go trade for, go out there and get.
But I don't think it's it because honestly, like Devin Singletary, Zach Moss, and then you got the rookie James Cook. Like I don't necessarily think that they're specifically the issue because we've seen in spots where Zach Moss and Devin Singletary can be effective. Like I don't see their running backs and think like these guys are just below average where we need to go trade for a backup for somebody else's team. I don't think that's the case. I think there's a lot of things schematically that's just not favorable to the run game in Buffalo. And I think it's more so what we saw for Kansas City all those years where you just don't want to taking the ball out of Patty Cake's hands or Big Josh's hands is always going to be less preferable than handing it off to Clyde Harris-Hilaire or to Zach Moss or the deficit. I think it's more of a schematic thing to where they're everything is set up to optimize what we can get done with Big Josh Allen, much like it is for Lamar in Buffalo now, and much like it is for Patty Cakes in Kansas City. So I don't necessarily think it's personnel, especially if you're going to get a backup off another team, unless you're going to get Kareem Hunt. But he's a backup in name, but he's still a starting quality back. But if you're not going to get Kareem Hunt, then I would say I'd take Buffalo's receivers over any handful of other backups in the league. You know what I'm saying? But no, I think Miles makes a good point, and this is the point I made. Buffalo's got great coverage linebackers, and that's what I think is what the key is because you've got those guys in the front four. You still got Vine, Elliot Oliver's coming back. Gregory Rousseau, who Chop was 100% right, and I was 1,000% wrong on. He's playing good ball. You know what I'm saying? So he's playing good ball. So I think with that front four, and they run a real 4-2. It's a 4-2-5. They don't even line up a third line. I don't even know if they have a real third linebacker. You know what I'm saying? So it's a straight 4-2-5 because they've got such great range in both those middle guys. And so with that front, they rotate about 6 guys through that front, and then having those linebackers that are capable to move in space. Now they're still at a disadvantage. It's still Lamar, MVP Lamar. We ain't playing, but these guys are two of the more rangier linebackers, and they play together. So I think they can make life real difficult, man, for Lamar in that running game. But yeah, like I said, I kind of side with Miles in that Buffalo's more complete team. The defense, I think, is squarely better, firmly an advantage for Buffalo. And like I said, it's one of those ones where Lamar may have to be, and he's capable. Lamar could just beat the system. Sometimes guys just break the system. Neo in the Matrix. Lamar is one of those players where he can just beat the system. It doesn't make sense. He could just make it happen and he can make a play. The way we see Kyler beat the system and make plays. Doesn't make sense. Sometimes a guy could just beat the system. And so Lamar is one of those guys. But I think if everything's going to be even, man, I think Buffalo's got the edge. But now, good comment from our dog Miles.
Got you. Another quick update, man. Minnesota Vikings just hit a huge play down the left sideline, deep pass to your boy. You'll be happy to hear it. Justin Jeff, man. Deep
Come
pass.
on, man. Jet is in the building coming through.
Now Minnesota's pretty much running the ball right now, trying to run some clock out so they can get this field goal.
Let's go.
Which I don't like. Because I don't like them playing just for this field goal. I think they need to go ahead and punch it in.
Be careful, Chuck. Be careful, Chuck. We talked about this 2 weeks ago where you score too fast and then you let the Jets come back and beat you.
No. I don't want you to score too fast. But what they did was they did a couple of runs just to run the timeout out, and now they're gonna take the New Orleans Saints had 3 timeouts, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Well, you got to make them use them. How much time is left now?
It's 1:14 left. It's 3rd and 9. They on the 30-yard line. You know what I'm saying?
And New Orleans had to burn 2 of those timeouts?
They had to burn 2 of those timeouts. So now they just ran the ball again. They're probably they're at the 28 now. The Minnesota Vikings are at the 28. They're probably going to let this clock bleed. Probably it looked like it's going to go to about 34, 35 seconds before they snap before they take their timeout. So they can try to kick this game-winning field goal. Now,
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. Well, I'm not mad at. Let me tell you why I'm not mad at that. Because for one, they're going to have New Orleans doesn't have many timeouts now. They're going to get the ball back with 30 seconds, or after kickoff, it might be even less than 30 seconds. It might be 28 seconds. 28 seconds with Andy Dalton in a soft New Orleans offense. Now, mind you, they scored some points today, so it's hard to say that. But still, if you told me I'm gonna give Andy Dalton and that Saints offense 28 seconds to go 70 yards with no timeouts, that's the highest probability to win. You got to take that. I think you got to take that. It ain't like you're giving back the ball to Patty or Lamar or Big Josh with a timeout and then all bets is off. You giving it back to the red rifle Andy Dalton in a subpar New Orleans offense prior to, I guess, today them scoring points.
Okay, gotcha. Well, yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll keep y'all updated. He's getting ready to kick the field goal in just a second, but I might as well go ahead and jump into my game of the week, man. And it's.
Oh, well, did you give me a score on your Baltimore game? You don't think you gave me a score?
No, I didn't give you a score. Okay, but I do think it's going to be a game where they're going to put up a few points. Give me 31-28, Baltimore over Buffalo.
Okay. Oh, we got the same score, just different teams. Okay.
And the kick is good. We got 24 seconds left on the clock, Willie Jack.
Okay. And they still got to kick it off. It might be 19 seconds.
They got to kick it off. 24 seconds left on the clock. They got to kick it off. Yeah, and New Orleans will have the ball, and they'll be trying to drive down the score. So
for sure,
we'll see. But so I got 31-28 in that final score of the game. Man, let's go ahead and jump into my game of the week, and it's a little bit of an unorthodox game of the week, but I think it's going to be a good one, man. I got Jacksonville going to Philly to take on the Eagles, man. We got Doug Peterson. Revenge game for Doug Peterson, man. And that's why I'm going with the upset, man. I'm going with the upset. Jacksonville upsets Eagles in their crib because Doug Peterson, he got a point to prove, man. He's going back to the Eagles and letting them know, hey, man, y'all should have let me go. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to show y'all why. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to put a great game plan together, to go against this team. I think this is the perfect person to actually go against a good defense like the Eagles have, because Doug Peterson can scheme up some stuff. You know what I'm saying? They got that run game going really well. You know what I'm saying? Christian Kirk is playing some good ball. I think that offense is going to be able to scheme up some things and play really good in this game. Now, the defensive side of things, that's going to be key for Jacksonville. You know what I'm saying? They're going to have to find a way to stop Hurts from using his legs the way he uses his legs. They're going to have to stop that. Then also have to, you got to put a body on that big boy and A.J. Brown. And then you just seen the coming out party last week of a Devontae Smith, man. So you got to watch out for him too, man. So there's going to be a lot of different things that the Jaguars have to do on defense to stop the Eagles. But I think they can do it. And that's part of the reason why I'm going with Jacksonville, man. I'm going with Jacksonville, going with the upset. Do I feel 100% good about it? Nah, I don't. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I got a feeling that Doug Peterson gonna come in there. He gonna make some stuff happen. Just like that, Andy Dalton just completes a big pass down the middle of the field to Chris Olave. They are now on the 44-yard line, and it's they're getting ready to, and they got an injury. I don't know what's about to happen. Is this gonna be a 10-second runoff? Because
it's gotta be a 10-second runoff. If the injury's on the Saints, it's gotta be.
No. It's the Vikings. It's the Vikings. They got the injury. It's Harrison Smith. Harrison Smith gets injured on this particular play. So
Harrison, get your old ass off the field. Now you didn't gave a timeout to the Saints.
Yeah, they gave him a timeout. So they got one more play. It's 11 seconds on the clock. They got one more play, so they'll be able to try to get a little bit closer and then go for this long field goal, depending on if they complete this pass or not. But New Orleans, they can't complete a pass in bounds though because they have no more timeouts. So whatever they complete, they got to get out of bounds because I don't believe this is enough time for them to get back on the ball and snap it. So they gotta complete this pass going out of bounds, or they gonna shoot for this long field goal. So they got one play. One play. But go ahead, Willie Jack.
Make sure you let us know what's going on now. What was your score for Jacksonville?
I got you.
What was your score for Jacksonville though?
For Jacksonville, I'm gonna go. Here's the play coming up too, Willie Jack. Andy Dalton drops back. He throws outside, incomplete pass. So we got 9 seconds on the clock. 9 seconds on the clock. Look like Minnesota are really guarding the sideline.
As you should.
So, yeah, you should. But I'm gonna go 27-24, close game. 27-24, Jacksonville comes away with the W.
Okay. And this one for me, man, this is also in my running for game of the week. And I was the same thing as you, man. This is the perfect upset game, man. Doug Peterson going back to the crib. I still stand on he should have never left Philly. I don't know what Philly was thinking, what they were doing. There's no reason he still shouldn't be the coach of Philly. Go ahead. What you got?
I thought it was a complete pass. They probably gonna go back and look at it and see if his feet were in bounds, but he hits Chris Olave on the sideline, but they say he was out of bounds. They say his feet was out of bounds. They're showing a replay now. He's coming up, and there might be a catch. There might be a catch.
How deep? Where was he out of bounds at?
That'll definitely put them in field goal. They're not showing the whole field right now, but it'll put them in good field goal range. I'm trying to see where it's at. Oh no, they're probably gonna be incomplete. I think his left foot comes up. So now it's an incomplete pass. So they still kicking it from the 40. It's a 61-yard field goal.
Okay. Who's the kicker for the Saints?
That's a good question. Who is the kicker for the Saints?
61 is not undoable. I mean, like I said, it's not.
And he just hit a big one not too long ago. He just hit a big kick, so to tie the game. So now he's got to hit this kick to tie it again, so they can go into overtime. It's 2 seconds on the clock, so we'll see what happens. But go ahead, talk to me, Willie Jack. Talk to me about this game, man.
Yeah, man. So, Miles with the update, man, said he barely missed it.
Yep, my TV probably a little bit behind Miles, so yeah.
So they barely missed it. Okay,
barely missed
but now this game for me, man, just for the same thing you said. Like I was saying before, I still in my mind, Doug Peterson should still be the coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. I just did not understand the move ownership made at that point where things had gotten pretty toxic between Wentz and Doug Peterson. But like I said, you can replace a Carson Wentz before you can replace a Doug Peterson, at least in my mind. Now, to their credit, Nick Sirianni, the guy from Philly, I remember when he came in and got that job, I was like, who in the hell is Nick Sirianni? Where'd he come from? And how the hell he get this job? But he's proven that maybe that was a good choice for them, man. So Jalen Hurts has stepped up and played damn well. And that team is rolling. And like I said, he's got firm command of that locker room as well, by all accounts. But I still had this one down as an upset alert, man. But I didn't pull the trigger. I didn't pull the trigger, man, because I didn't pull the trigger. I still went Philly. And Jacksonville's defense is playing really well. And I think that's really been the unsung hero of that Jacksonville success is that defense. So they've got a lot of playmakers on that defense, a lot of young playmakers on that defense. Trayvon Walker, the number 1 pick, is flashing spots. Devin Lloyd has flashing spots as well. You still got the other Josh Allen at the edge. So they've got a lot of pieces there. Trevor Lawrence and Christian Kirk, they seem to have some nice chemistry there. And Doug Peterson is definitely calling the plays and putting things in place to make them perform as optimally as they can. And so, but I still think on the road in Philly being the juggernaut that they are, they're just playing with a different type of juice than everybody else. And I think they still do get it done. But I think this is going to be a very exciting game to watch. And I've got Philly holding on and winning this one 28-24. I think Jacksonville makes a go at it, man. I think they try hard, they fight hard for Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson definitely is going to want this one, but I think in the end they still fall short. Give me 28-24. Yeah, 28-24. I almost went 28-21, but I'll give them 24. 28-24.
And before we wrap up, Willie Jack, I'm gonna tell you about this kick, man. So Miles was definitely right in terms of it barely missed. It hit the left crossbar, then the left upright, then the middle crossbar after it hit that, and then bounced. It missed about this much, dog.
And then still bounced. Oh man,
that's how close they was to making it. Oh, and it was Will Lutz. Will Lutz is the kicker.
Will Lutz, okay.
So it was that's nice kick, man. Good effort, man, but barely missed. And he had the distance though. It had the distance. That kick probably would have been good for about 60, 65. You know what I'm saying? It had a little bit of length on it, so that's where they at, man.
Okay.
Yeah, Willie Jack, man. I think that's all the games, man. We run through all the games today, man. Like I said, we went through all the previews, man. Appreciate everybody for tuning in with us, man. You told me your performer of the week. You said who's your performer?
Yeah, and I was just gonna do, man. One more time for the performers. I'm taking Micah Parsons, man. Micah Parsons today at the crib in Big Dallas, Washington on the road. I think Micah's gonna dominate this damn day, man. 2.5 sacks, man. 2.5 sacks. One of those being a strip sack, and he's gonna have a hand in an interception today. I don't know if he's gonna get it himself off like maybe he jumps and intercepts a screen. I don't know if he puts pressure on Wentz and Wentz gets a duck in the air and Trayvon grabs it. Or like I said, I don't know, but there will be an interception, and Michael Parsons is gonna have a hand in that as well, man. So 2.5 sacks, one of them being a strip sack, and he's gonna be a key member of an interception. Gotcha. That liability goes to the crib. I think Trayvon takes one to the crib today as well.
Okay, they got a great defensive performance.
I ain't gonna lie, I think that defense will show out today.
Okay. And my performer of the week, man, is no other than Saquon Barkley, man. That's my guy. You know what I'm saying? He's going for over 200 yards from scrimmage today. He's gonna have 2 touchdowns, 1 receiving, 1 on the ground, man. So he's gonna have a big day. Best in the business hashtag. You know what I'm saying? Also, offensive player of the year. You know what I'm saying? Mark my words. You know what I'm saying? Make this a quick clip. I'm just trying to tell you right now, man. And that campaign has started a little bit, but he about to kick it off. He about to kick it into another gear today, man. So that's what's going on. That's my performer of the day today, Willie Jack.
About that time. Hey, that's it. That's all, man. Appreciate all the games came by today, man. Y'all know what's going on, man. Our dog Miles still in the building, man, holding us down the long way, man. Shout out to you, dog. Man, we got a love today from day one. Game Jarrell was in the building. Shout out to you, dog. Tom came through, man. Our dog Tom came through, held us down for show. Man, Big Dubs came in the building, man. William White was in the building for show. We appreciate the love, my dog. Man, who else, man? Who else? I'm looking for you.
Jarrell came in through.
I already had day one game, Jarrell. All right, hey, y'all know what's going on, man. If I forgot to say your name, come on, man. Y'all can say it with me at the crib, man. Charge it to my head, man. Don't charge it to my heart. You know I was thinking about you. Appreciate the love and support as always, man. Everybody be safe, man. Enjoy yourself for this Sunday football. Man, hey, man, great job today, Chop. Look at the time of the day show, man. Great job by my brother Chop today, man. We got in and got out and did what we had to do, man. And so everybody have fun, enjoy your weekend, man. We will be right back, man. Wednesdays at 7 o'clock, man. Y'all know what's going on. Tune in, touch in. We'll see who was right and who was wrong with this week's slate of games. And other than that, man, just like that, we gone, man. Peace.